Cleanup efforts around town after Typhoon Wipa. Arrangements to clear delayed flights at the airport. And in Japan, Prime Minister Ishiba vows to stay on despite upper house election setback. Hello and welcome to TVB News. I'm Melissa Hekalea. Life generally returned to normal in Hong Kong today after the departure of Typhoon Wipa. Workers are still busy removing fallen trees and debris from the streets. All roads have been cleared for traffic to pass through. Samantha Lee tells us more.
Typhoon Wipa triggered the city's first hurricane signal number 10 in 2 years. The storm left widespread destruction across the city. At least 700 fallen trees were reported. On Stops Road, a tree toppled over a retaining wall, blocking part of the road. Workers cut it in half and reopened one of the 2 traffic lanes. Meanwhile, in Jardines Lookout, a fallen tree crashed on a house fences and gate, obstructing part of the road. Guardrails on the other side of the road were also bent and twisted. The storm's destruction can also be seen in Kowloon. In Chi Wan Shan, a large tree was blown down, damaging a bus shelter. Firefighters were called to the scene. Outside Nau Chi Wan village, a minibus stop booth toppled over. It was righted by a crane today. In Kwai Chung, half of a metal logo sign detached from the wall of a building, only a few meters away from the MTR railway. Firefighters used ropes to fix the metal sign. Some residents are grateful for the rapid cleanup. This lady said she found most of the streets tidy, as there used to be large amounts of litter after typhoons. This kid expressed gratitude to workers who clean up the city promptly. The Hong Kong Observatory said it used AI models to forecast the movement of Wipa. Last Wednesday, the forecaster said AI had predicted that the typhoon would edge closer to the west of Guangdong or the Pearl River Delta. The observatory said forecasts made by AI outperformed traditional computers this time. Samantha Lee, TVB News.
Hong Kong International Airport will facilitate more than 1,000 outbound and inbound flights today as part of its own ongoing arrangements for flights affected by Wipa. It's expected that all stranded passengers will be cleared by tomorrow. Timothy Lee tells us more.
Long queues could be seen at the airport's departure hall this morning, with scores of travelers seeking assistance at check-in counters. A family whose trip to Taiwan was disrupted by the typhoon said they're glad the journey was only delayed by 1 day, adding that they don't have to pay for any changes to the flights and hotels. This man said he is still disappointed with the delay, but would try to enjoy the rest of his trip. While this man said he lost 1 day of this trip, but there isn't much he can do. Fearing the tropical cyclone's remaining effects on public transport, many travelers made their way to the airport early. Under the airport authority's latest measures, all 3 runways of the airport will be fully operational and are capable of facilitating more than 1,000 flights throughout the day. Despite the airport's arrangements to ensure smooth operations, some tourists remain less than optimistic. A Philippines-bound traveler, whose flight on Sunday was rescheduled for Tuesday, stressed that she and her friends do not have enough money to book a hotel and must stay in the airport for 3 days.
I'm quite sad because 3 days is went to waste. 3 days is a big deal.
Earlier today, Director General of Civil Aviation Victor Liu and members from the airport authority's management inspected the airport's departure hall, with the latter emphasizing that all travelers affected by Wipa will get back on track with their travel plans by Tuesday. Executive Director of Airport Operations Stephen Yu said the airport's biggest current challenge is tackling the increased flow of tourists during the summer season, combined with the hurricane signal number 10. Owing to the effects of Wipa, the airport authority noted more than 500 flights were canceled, affecting around 100,000 passengers. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
Chief Executive John Lee says the government will continue to improve the listing system, facilitating the mobility in the stock market. In a video posted on social media, the city leader said Hong Kong has recorded 52 initial public offerings so far this year after the listing regime was reformed. The total funds raised amounted to $124 billion, a 5.9-fold jump from the same period last year. As Lee will deliver his fourth policy address in September, he invites members of the public to make suggestions for the city's financial markets during the consultation period. The inflation rate eased to 1.4% in June, marking the second month of decline. The government estimates that the overall inflation will remain modest in the near term. Last month, the Consumer Price Index rose by 1.4% over the last 12 months, 0.5 percentage points down from May. Housing saw the highest increase in prices among various components, followed by transport, electricity, gas, and water. Meanwhile, clothing, durable goods, and basic food recorded drops in prices. Reports say top Chinese and U.S. leaders may meet around late October to early November this year. It's believed that U.S. President Donald Trump may visit China before heading to the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in South Korea, or may meet his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping on the sidelines of the summit. A spokesperson for Trump did not respond to a request to comment on the reported plans for the meeting. The two countries have been trying to negotiate an end to an escalating tit-for-tat tariff war that has affected global trade and supply chains. Trump has set a deadline of August 12th for the U.S. and China to reach a durable tariff agreement. Japan's ruling coalition led by Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba has lost its majority in the House of Councillors. The center-right Liberal Democratic Party and its junior partner Komeito fell 3 short of winning 50 seats in Sunday's election. Having suffered a similar lower house defeat in October last year, the result marks the first time the LDP has lost control in both houses of the Diet since the party's foundation in 1955. Danny Cho reports.
On the election day, Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba, also president of LDP, placed red paper roses on the names of elected candidates at the Liberal Democratic Party headquarters in Tokyo. The final vote count was completed early Monday. The ruling coalition needed 50 seats to retain control of the 248-seat upper house. The LDP only secured 39 seats of the 125 seats at stake, and Komeito took 8, with members elected for 6-year terms. The bruising loss, which comes amid rising prices and tariff concerns, has made the coalition a minority in both parliamentary chambers. Speaking after the polls closed, Ishiba said he solemnly takes the result and vowed to remain in office as prime minister.
We must accept the harsh reality humbly and sincerely. We are the largest party by comparison, so our party has a responsibility to fulfill for this nation.
Ishiba said his focus was to avoid creating a political vacuum and to tackle impending challenges, including pressing for trade negotiations with the U.S. Meanwhile, the opposition parties made gains in the election, winning 78 new seats. Combined with existing seats, they hold 126 seats in the upper house, which is over the threshold of 125 seats for majority. The upstart Populist Party Sensato, campaigned under Japanese first slogan and anti-immigration stance, has emerged as one of the biggest winners. It made a leap from 1 seat 3 years ago to the current 14 seats, the third most among opposition forces in the poll. The party leader Sohei Kamiya, a former local assembly member and a self-defense force reserve personnel, said he did not expect this much support. Japan's opposition leader Yoshihiko Noda has ramped up his attack on the struggling ruling coalition, saying the polls explicitly show that voters said no to the Ishiba administration. Noda's Constitutional Democratic Party took 22 seats in the election and became the country's largest opposition party. Danny Zhou, TVB News.
In South Korea, 5 days of torrential rain has left 17 people dead and 11 others missing. One person was killed Sunday after a house collapsed during heavy rain, and another person was found dead after being swept away by a swollen stream in Gapyeong, a town northeast of Seoul. Officials say the country's southern regions have received up to about 600 to 800 millimeters of rain since Wednesday. Most of the dead and missing were in the town of Sancheong. More than 3,800 people remain evacuated from their homes. The rain stopped in most of the country on Sunday, and heavy rain alerts have now been lifted. Russia says it is open to ceasefire with Ukraine with the ultimate aim of achieving peace. But Moscow insists it must achieve its military objectives. Meanwhile, Ukraine launched drone attacks on Moscow, forcing several airports in the Russian capital to close during the airstrikes. Nazvi Karim with more.
Dmitry Peskov, the Kremlin spokesperson, said in an interview with state media that President Vladimir Putin has repeatedly expressed his hope for a peaceful resolution to the Ukraine conflict. Peskov emphasized this is a long process and its completion is paved with difficulties. At the forefront is Russia's military objectives. Ukraine must first meet Russia's conditions, Peskov said, including Kyiv abandoning its ambition to join NATO and withdrawing its troops from the 4 provinces Russia has annexed and largely controls. He said Putin and US President Donald Trump may meet at an appropriate time. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky earlier said that his envoy has sent a proposal to Russia to hold a third round of peace talks this week. Zelensky is also ready for a face-to-face meeting with Putin. Meanwhile, both sides continue to attack each other. Russia launched a new barrage of drones and missiles at Ukraine overnight, killing at least 1 person and causing multiple fires in the capital, Kyiv. The Russian Defense Ministry said Ukraine's military had sent more than 230 drones, 27 of which targeted Moscow. Russia's aviation authorities said several major airports in the capital were affected and forced to close at least 10 times in a 24-hour period. At least 140 flights were cancelled and around 130 others diverted to other destinations. Last week, reports emerged that Trump, increasingly frustrated by Putin's firm stance, encouraged Zelensky to attack Moscow, but the US president later denied it, saying the capital should not be targeted. Nazvi Karim, TVB News.
Still ahead, construction of the world's largest hydropower dam gets underway. And the nation's first lunar soil brick-making machine. Welcome back. Construction of what will be the world's largest hydropower dam has begun in Tibet, with operations expected to be in the 2030s. The megadam will be 3 times the size of the Three Gorges Dam, but it doesn't come without some controversy. Tracy Furness reports.
China's megadam project promises an economic jolt for industry sectors such as construction, cement and steel. It also promises a major new source of clean power to help China reach its goal of net zero emissions by 2060. Premier Li Jiang was at the groundbreaking ceremony at the Yarlung-Zangbo River in Ningqi last Saturday, sealing Beijing's approval of the 1.2 trillion yuan project. It will include 5 cascade hydropower stations, which will generate enough electricity to meet the needs of Tibet and other regions. But the construction has come with some concerns, notably the displacement of communities and the environmental impact downstream in India and Bangladesh. Beijing has said the dam will not have a major effect on downstream water supplies or the environment. The Yarlung-Zangbo River originates in the Tibetan Himalayas. It enters India as the Xiang in northeastern Arunachal Pradesh state before flowing downstream to Assam at the Brahmaputra. The river finally empties into the Bay of Bengal through Bangladesh, where it is called the Padma. India has repeatedly expressed concerns over the megadam project and urged Beijing to ensure the interests of the downstream states of the Brahmaputra would not be harmed. Tracy Furness, TVB News.
In the U.S., a man in New York died after he was pulled into an MRI machine while his wife was having a scan. His wife said he waved goodbye to her before his body went limp. The 61-year-old man had entered the room at Nassau Open MRI, and the machine's strong magnetic force drew him in by the 20-pound weight training metallic chain around his neck, according to Nassau County Police Department.
I saw the machine snatch him around and pull him into the machine. He died. He went limp in my arms. I'm not able to sleep. I'm barely eating. He waved goodbye to me, and then his whole body went limp. And I yelled out Keith's name, Keith, come help me up, come help me up. That instant, the machine switched him around, pulled him in, and he hit the MRI. Could you turn up the machine, call 911, do something, turn this damn thing off?
He died on Thursday afternoon, with police declining to release more details. Adrienne Jones McAllister told media that she was undergoing an MRI on her knee when she asked the technician to get her husband, Keith McAllister, to help her get off the table. The man reportedly suffered heart attacks after he was freed from the MRI machine. China recently developed its first lunar soil brick-making machine in a space exploration lab. It puts the nation one step closer towards the ability to construct structures on the moon's surface. Built in the Space Exploration Lab founded by the China National Space Administration, Anhui Provincial Authorities, and the University of Science and Technology of China, the machine uses solar energy to harden and transform lunar soil into bricks at high temperatures. The research team said its 3D printing system is capable of printing bricks with a maximum size of 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters and a thickness of 5 centimeters. According to the researchers, the lunar soil bricks tend to be harder and are also suitable for constructing houses and roads on Earth. That's the news. Thanks for watching. Pearl Magazine is up shortly. See you then.